Sorry.
I'll bring us in here, guys. You know, I got this Waiakea Hawaiian volcanic coffee here, and I just learned that there's actually holes in the coffee bag.
You can smell it.
I can smell it. Smell it, guys.
Oh.
Have you guys dabbled in your Waiakea coffee yet?
I have.
Yes, we actually have. I love the smell of coffee, but I can't, like...
Drink it?
fully drink a ton of it.
Fully drink it. I can't fully drink it.
Because if you... Fully, she means if it's not doused with milk
sugar
and some type of flavoring, she will not be drinking.
But it smells so good.
It
so
does.
I'm like, why can't I enjoy the taste of it?
Yeah. There's a big gap, though, between the taste and the smell, I think.
For sure.
That's fair.
And that's how everyone starts, though. You've got the gateway drug in. Everyone starts going heavy creamer and give it a couple years and you'll be snorting coffee grounds.
For sure.
Hey, I've gotten better.
You've gotten so much better. And now she, like, every single time I make a cup, she, like, looks at me. I'm like, you want to try it, don't you? I think you, like, want to, like,
I do.
coffee.
Because I'm like, oh, I could definitely use some caffeine right now.
Yeah.
But
You do tea? Just don't dabble in the caffeine
tea
game?
is worse than coffee.
For like jitters and stuff?
Ted
No,
Lasso,
just
when
taste.
he's like,
Oh,
it's
taste.
like
Oh, gotcha.
dirty leaf water. It is dirty
Wait,
water.
you think that too?
Yeah, I think it's
It's
disgusting.
dirty water.
I got tea right here. A little ginger turmeric tea.
But when coffee, like, look at it. Like, that's looks like dirt water.
It is actually
Yeah.
dirty bean water.
I don't know what we literally
bean
just
water.
in Doha, they were like, here's some tea to try. Oh gosh, it was not good. It was not good.
I love me some tea.
What kind?
And
though?
coffee.
Is
pretty
it
much
like
anything.
Oh, really?
I'm a fan of some peppermint.
Oh.
Good thing Trevor doesn't listen to this podcast. We were in Germany and they were like ordering beers and stuff, and I was trying to, stay straight. I'm not have any inflammation in my body. Yeah. And so I ordered peppermint tea at like a German like brew house, and the guy that was serving us was just like started laughing because he thought I was joking. He's like, peppermint tea. Okay, what do you want? I was like, oh no, I'm good. So Trev and Jose never let me live that one down. But I like any blend. A good breakfast blend in the morning. Go to sleep tea at night. It's more just like a few sips. The aroma.
Yeah.
Aromatherapy.
I just like a hot drink.
Hot drinks.
There's
yeah.
just something about a hot drink that I just pretty
and
much
they're
need
not
to have
sugary.
one.
Coffee and tea is no sugar.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's fair. There's like two types of teas that I like, and they're like the tea Havana. I don't know. It's just
You're like Arizona iced tea.
It was peach
Southern sweet tea.
Peach Bellini, I think, is one of them.
Ooh, peach Bellini.
It was actually really good.
Sounds
and
good.
then
Isn't that like a champagne drink? Like the real Bellini?
Yeah, but tea form of it.
Gotcha.
So it wasn't like as dirty water tasting, so I liked it.
That's great.
Well, you guys drink Cokes in the middle of matches. I saw that on
old school athletes. That used to be a big thing back in the day.
That's actually like whenever we like travel internationally, it's like I gotta get my case of Coke Zeros. Like I need Coke Zeros, and that's what I drink instead of coffee.
That works.
And when you're playing, that doesn't get you super bloated or anything. I would die.
Oh, triathletes and stuff used to, for the last I don't know, depends how long the race is, but the last quarter of the race, just hammer Coke, caffeine and sugar.
I mean, I also love the taste of it.
Yeah.
I would just drink it constantly.
Why zero though? Just cause.
For the most part, healthier. If it's in during a match, I'll go regular Coke just because it does have some calories.
Yeah.
But Coke Zero just because it has some caffeine and
fake sweeteners scare me a little.
Yeah.
Just what is that?
Honestly, at one point it's something.
Sugar.
Everything just
I'm like,
is not good for you.
Yeah, that's so true.
It's like a banana. Too many bananas is bad for you.
Yeah,
strawberry.
That's a good point.
You're like.
The sticker that they put on the banana leaks the chemicals into it and causes whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, everyone drinks Coke Zero, so I'm like, oh.
Well, whatever.
I mean, if they're all gonna die or something, then
we all go down together.
Yeah, we're all going down.
We all go down drinking a delicious beverage.
At least I enjoy it.
I think you have a true addiction to it, though.
Yeah, probably
sometimes.
Oh, now she's throwing you under the bus.
I'm being honest right now. Hot seat, Kristen, you are addicted.
That's actually why we gathered here today. This is an intervention.
Oh, gosh.
SANDCAST intervention.
We have some fans out there that Actually, that's why I like coffee, is because there's no sugar or anything added. It's just like caffeinated hot water, basically. Dirty bean water.
Every time you drink it, you're going to be like, dirty bean water.
I was thinking about it the other day, or whenever, and I think I started drinking coffee in like elementary school.
Wow.
Because I remember taking I literally remember driving to school, like, and I only did this driving elementary school, and like with my milk, it was like half milk, half sugar, and then I'd pour some of my parents' coffee in it. I'm like, why did my parents let me do that?
Oh my God.
And then in high school, I'm like hammering Monsters on the way to school, just because.
Oh, and now you're worried about the ingredients.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
It's just
a man can change, Taryn.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was younger, someone told me that coffee like stunted your growth, and I was like, never drinking it. Obviously, it didn't help. Yeah, probably should have drank it. I don't even know who told me that. I don't know.
Well, we all drink coffee.
Yeah,
so.
that's it. Man, can I go back? Can I go back?
I didn't start drinking coffee until the end of. Well, when I got to LSU, actually. I didn't even drink coffee when I was at Creighton.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh. Almost went down.
Oh. Nice.
I wish this was what our house felt like whenever we like came home from practice or something.
You like it warm, huh?
Me too.
I don't know why everyone wants to practice at 8 a.m.
It's
it is
so cold.
So cold.
It is. You can't feel your feet.
Yeah.
And I am not a cold weather person.
Yeah.
Not at all. So every time we go back to the house, I'm like, oh, it's so cold. I'm literally like freezing. Like blankets, like layers, while I'm just in the house.
I'm right there with you. I bought the gloves with batteries in it now, so I'm like legit wearing ski gloves to practice if it's at 8:30. It's the earliest we go, and it's freezing with sand socks, everything.
Yep, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people go at 8 a.m. There's so many other times in the day that are way more pleasant.
It is perfect
10 a.m.
at 10.
is great, yeah.
10 a.m.'s that's the perfect spot. Mm-hmm. But Delaney, that was her biggest complaint with the women, because most of the guys will practice at pretty reasonable times, either 9 or 10, or tomorrow I'm going at 11. But all the women are like, yeah, we're going at 7. Delaney's like, why?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
You don't get to sleep. Big on sleep. You feel like you have to get your sleep.
Yeah.
And then you're just freezing. And then you get to the end of practice and you're like finally warm because it's warm outside, and then you leave.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
And the first hour of practice isn't great. It's because everyone's just trying to thaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's one thing if you're gonna like use the rest of your day, like, oh, I'll wake up like Kobe. I'll wake up earlier so I can get 4 practices in. And,
Right.
But let's be honest, like, what are these 8 a.m. teams doing? Unless they have side jobs, which
is common.
Some people have.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, no.
Yeah.
Not
And you
about
don't
that.
even get to like see the sun, so like I'm very pale right now. Like I need some sun exposure before season starts.
Yeah, it's
but
true.
when I'm in leggings and joggers on top, that's not really helping me out.
I can't imagine that you ever get dark though.
No. But for sure darker than I am right now. I used to be like, I just would stay the same color, but ever since I started playing more and more, I for sure change a little bit. So it's nice. But back to pasty right now.
Yeah, me too.
Well, we had you guys in about a year ago.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have lived 3 lifetimes since
too.
then. It's crazy to think that it was only a year ago that was your rookie year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It feels like you guys have been around for like a couple years, and it was just one enormous year.
Oh, wow. You saying that right now? I'm like, wow.
I know. I think this week we were like, wow, that was our first year like on the international tour.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's like that. It
It's
for
a
sure
grind,
felt
huh?
like an eternity, but then it also felt like it went by like so fast. It's like so bizarre, like the difference of like, I don't know. It was
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't even been a full year since you played your first event. When you guys were just signed up like 15th on the reserve list of Coolangatta.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
We
then
saw
you
that
rough-
registration.
I was like,
We're like,
should we sign up and go just for fun? She's like, no.
Yeah.
But yeah. And each tournament, I feel like we learned 15 things that everybody just like knows. They're like, oh, you just know that. And you're like, okay, we didn't know. Like it's just like we didn't know if we had to play the next day or if we made it to like the round of 16 or the round of 12 or if we had to play again or if we could go home. Couldn't find food sometimes, didn't know when the restaurants would open, and everybody else just like had it down to a T.
Yeah, that was literally in Brazil. It was our first challenge event, and we had like won the. It was in pool play, right?
Yeah.
And we were like, oh yeah, we won. Like, okay, we made it through. And then it was literally Lisa Reed who came and was the provider, and she was like, oh yeah, you have to check and see like you may have another game tonight. We were like, what?
We're like, we thought we were gonna go get dinner.
Like, what are you talking about? She was like, no, you got to do this. And we were like, thank goodness you told us this. Like, yeah. So
you
that's
don't want
just
to be the
little
team
things.
that doesn't show up to a match.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been us 2 or 3 times, just because we had no idea.
Yeah.
But
That's
figured it out.
so yeah, little things like that. We've had some experiences.
I bet. Does anything stand out? Like, were there any big learning moments that stand out to you guys?
The one again from Brazil, this isn't really a learning moment, but it was just kind of funny. That game that we actually had to play at night, we were playing Sponsal Cannon.
Yeah.
And in Brazil, they like, or I don't know if it's just in Itapema, like where we were, they like, the restaurants don't open like super early.
Yeah.
And we were like, I think the game was at like 7 or 6 or something. So it was like that weird, like awkward time. And we were like, we need food. And the restaurant that we like really liked, we literally went to it right before, like we got there like probably like 20 minutes before it opened. Like everyone in the restaurant was like meeting, getting prepared, and we were like standing by the door like, please let us in. Like, and we ate, and it like took a little while, so we're like scarfing down our food. We have to try and get an Uber to the venue because we probably are at this moment. We're probably playing like scheduled to play in an hour, and we're still at this restaurant. We're trying to get an Uber. It's like not loading. It's like not picking up a ride. We're like, oh my gosh, what do we have to do? Like, we're just gonna have to run to the venue.
At least
We did. So we ran
right after we ate.
Yeah, right after we ate. It was probably like a 10, 15 minute.
Is that Itapema you said?
Yeah.
Did you run on the water?
No.
Just
We were
through the streets?
Through the streets.
Yeah, it was a little dangerous, a little sketchy,
Yeah,
but we were like,
for sure, Brazil.
run faster.
I'm sure
Yeah, there you go.
Sponsal and Cannon were probably like, where are they? Because they were like, we get there and they were like fully warmed and we're just coming like running in. I think we like peppered, and then it was like, all right,
Game time.
And
That's exactly how it happened, yeah.
And you won?
And we played very well. It was like, we were just cruising. Like, everything was clicking. It was like, okay, should we do this all the time?
Right.
Because I couldn't like breathe. It's like right after you eat and then you run and you're like, oh my gosh. And I was like, I could throw up right now. And I was like, but we have to play. So here we go. I think it was just, you didn't think about it at all. We were just trying to make it on time.
Yeah.
So you got your adrenaline rush early.
Yeah.
And so by the time the match started, the nerves were pretty calm.
Yeah. You couldn't even think because it was just like, here we go. Like,
We also didn't show up at the Stad. It was the quarterfinal game against Tina. And we showed up at the practice courts. And we were trying to like get a ride to like the main court. And everybody was like, every single ref, and they were all like looking for us. We were at the warm-up court like waiting for a ride, and they had to like shuffle a bunch of things, finally get us there, and all the refs were like, you know, when you're the first game, like you can come and warm up. No idea.
So that was a stadium court match? And do you normally warm up? Like if you're not in the first match, you warm up all the way?
That was our first time being the first match.
They
at
made
the side
they
courts?
made you,
And then they give you a shuttle over?
Yep.
Yeah.
I forget.
So we were like, we don't know if they're gonna make us do that.
Right,
like,
yeah.
we are the first match, but sometimes they are weird about like, no, you can't warm up. Like,
yeah,
on
I
the
could
court.
see that. There's some logic there.
We're just like, we're just doing it.
So we
And-
showed up late to that one too.
Yeah, we
it
were
wasn't
like,
late.
Why is
but
no one at the practice court? We're like, this is not good.
How was your first Stad experience?
Amazing.
Stad. I think you have to say it like that.
Was
Remember
Just majestic.
Schitt's Creek? Is in there, Stad.
I love that show.
It's so
It is pretty cool.
If I'm ever in a bad mood, I seriously put it on and I laugh for 30 minutes straight, and then I'm great.
Yeah, I don't know how they filmed it and like got through some of the scenes. I'm like, I would have been dying laughing.
It probably took so many takes. A lot of times, especially because a lot of them are family members.
Yeah.
and which makes the dynamic so much funnier.
Yeah.
David.
The dad and the son.
Yeah, I think our family.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the rest of the show would be, but just that dynamic alone is
There's
hilarious.
2 family members.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Yeah, a lot.
Gosh. But Stad.
Stad.
Amazing.
It is,
and I
right?
think probably a game that I will never forget was it wasn't quarters, it was round of 16.
I don't know, probably
think
one
it-
that we almost missed again.
Yeah. It was round of 16 and we played the Swiss team.
Oh yeah.
And that crowd was just, I've never seen something like that in a beach volleyball scenario. Like every hand motion, every chant, like
in sync.
no one missed a
Yeah.
beat. Like, just like, what is happening right now? It was like, sometimes you're just like in service even, you want to just be like,
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
looking around for sure, and I was like, wow, this is impressive.
Wow, did
Sit
they
in, the ball's
choreograph
coming.
this?
it's like, how do they know, how do every single person in this stand,
Right.
like, know every single motion? That was,
They're like
Probably
perfectly choreographed dances with the DJ.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that event has been running for, I don't know, ever since the World
A
Tour
long time.
started.
Well, I think they all love volleyball there too. So like,
Yeah.
if we had a good play, even though obviously they had the home team, they would still cheer for
Yeah.
us. Like it wasn't like a
Cheer for good volleyball.
yeah. It was cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that just travel for that event every year, and that used to be the case for Klagenfurt, but like even more so.
Where's that?
Klagenfurt, Austria.
Oh, okay.
Klagenfurt was like Woodstock of beach volleyball.
Oh.
I mean, smaller scale, obviously, but I went out once. It was like pouring rain at night, and for whatever reason, we drove by. There's like a campground, and it's literally just tents littered everywhere, and people are like, there's mud because it was raining, and these people were just like toughing it all to just show up to the volleyball the next day and just go crazy all day long.
It's like Wapaka.
partying.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty
It was
much.
insane on the lake. So everyone's just partying around this lake and then packing into the stadium and
That's
Was it the
raging.
same? Did they have like hand motions and?
Oh yeah. No, that's like a full, like all the Europe fans know that. And they've had like similar things my whole career. Like I go out there, I'm like, can you guys like change the
Yeah.
like monster block?
I love that one. It's or
Yeah.
Ace,
After
ace.
10 years,
Ace, ace.
after 10 years, you get a little over it.
That makes sense.
So every night you're just like, oh, hearing it. Damn it.
The one that kills me is after a good rally, it's like, we love volleyball. I'm like, oh,
Come on, fans, clap your hands. Like, oh. Now all these are going back in my head. I'm like, damn it, I shouldn't have got a block. Now I gotta hear this shit.
Just win a normal points. You don't have to listen to anything.
Man.
When they do it on like a pretty average block, like a soft block
Yeah.
or something, you know, just like kind of tapped it down, like, that's not worthy.
I agree.
It's funny as a commentator because sometimes they'll put up monster block when someone just swings into the net. And I'm like,
Yeah, right.
that, good block by the net. Did great. Good
Right.
firm press by the
Stuffed
net.
Nothing getting through that thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, volleyball or sports in general in the European market is just such a different experience for the actual fan base where they're like involved and like they want to be like active and dancing and like doing things, whereas Americans are like, no, I'm not dancing.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Put your hands up. They're like, no. Just shut up. I'm watching the game. I want to yell at them. I want to heckle them or something.
That's actually such
Yeah,
a good point.
They
That's
never.
true.
I mean, European fans aren't heckling pretty much ever. It's only Americans, I feel like, that.
Yeah, maybe Brazil occasionally.
Yeah.
Brazil, they just don't cheer for you.
That
If you
was-
are not Brazil, we were playing Brazil, dead
You'd
silent.
be like,
Yeah,
oh, that was a
exactly.
really sick play.
Nothing.
Like, you could hear a
Exactly.
pin drop.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're not like yelling at you
Yeah.
necessarily, like trying to get in your head.
Yeah.
That I remember.
Yeah, it might just be a distinctly American thing.
I wonder why people don't like us.
Are we ever going to get one FIVB here, you think?
Gosh, I hope so. That'd be awesome.
I just feel like everybody talks about it and it's always like, oh, maybe. Oh, there's lots of beach volleyball. No, never.
You just need someone to step up and want to do it. A promoter, and Leonard Motto's out, and AVP doesn't seem to have any interest anymore. So there's like no one
How did that work? Did you play in the one that was like when it wasn't there like
I played in
an
a lot.
AVP? It was like linked an AVP and FIVB.
Huge.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
AVP
Oh.
was the promoter for the FIVB. So it was an AVP branded event. But yeah, obviously it wasn't AVP teams necessarily, except for wild cards and whatnot. That was Huntington.
2018.
They ran St. Pete, AVP, FIVB back in the day. I think that's the only 2 AVP ran. And then we had the World Series of Beach Volleyball, which was really rad. 2 years, it was $1 million purse.
Wow.
So it was like...
And it was rigged, too, where they put the Americans on one side of the bracket.
No, that was different, though.
You didn't do that for the World Series?
That was a little side event.
Okay.
It was like, there was that, and then there was the actual event.
Okay.
And they put made sure that the American made the final.
Yeah.
That was kind of like a side thing. But it was like, what, 5th place was like $12,000 or something for 5th.
Dang.
Solid 5th.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
solid.
Which, congratulations for you guys just bankrolling in Doha, by the way.
Yeah, we love that 5th spot.
That's
Okay, every single time we get a 5th, I think I do, well, after I get unangry, which, also going back to Cape Town, thank you so much for inviting us on that hike, because after that, it has been kind of a game changer, because I would genuinely stay angry and just like think about the game and then not be able to sleep and be like, oh, why did I do this on that point? It's just like none of that is being helpful. None of that is helping. So you've also been really good about just like, okay, the game's over. Now we have to move on. Like, let's explore. Let's do something fun. But
So you guys checked out Tabletop Mountain?
Table Mountain.
Table Mountain.
Yeah.
And then you guys did Table Mountain, and then we hiked up Lion's Head.
Yeah.
Would
which
you
was
do
sweet.
the gondola down?
So
We hiked up.
We
and
did the
down.
gondola up and
Yeah.
down.
Oh yeah.
Not
good
that.
for you.
Yeah, you
So-
have a.
I hiked up.
there was like 5 Americans who watched me and Cody play, and we met them after we lost, and we we're like, all right, we have a week with nothing to do now.
That's the best.
And so they all lived there, and so they said, hey, we should go hike up Table Mountain. So we go up and we hike up, but it was like 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and so the gondola was closed.
Oh.
And so we had to hike the way down. And so we're going on the way down, and there's this sign that says, this is not the easiest way down. We're like, all right. So we're like bouldering our way down.
That's like through
Table
that
Mountain.
little like crevice, right? At the top, it's just like a tunnel,
Yeah.
basically.
It was
We would not
beautiful.
Yeah.
It was pretty sketch. But it was fun.
I got like the full experience because when I was going up, there was literally a guy by himself over on a rock on the side of the cliff singing the Lion King, like, but like the whole song in like the actual words. Like I wasn't even thinking of Lion King. I was like, this guy's singing like an actual whatever. It's African words. I was like, oh, this is the ultimate. I got the pure Lion King song. He just needed a little baby lion to hold him up, and it would have been perfect.
That is awesome.
That is so cool.
Cape Town's dope, though.
Yeah.
I had my last event. Actually, now that I think of it, it was my first FIVB and the last event of the season in Cape Town. And then I stayed for like a week and a half, 2 weeks after.
Did you do a safari?
I did.
Yeah.
No, I played in Durban, actually, and then went to Cape Town. Safari, we did like the vineyards and the shark diving.
Wow.
Great white shark diving.
We did hear about the
Yeah.
vineyards too.
Yeah, everyone.
Vineyards
talks
were
about
dope.
it.
Very sweet. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, I
super
would do
good
that.
food, cheap. Just
Everything's
you can
very
like
cheap,
stop
yeah.
at all the wineries on the way. It's
That's
sick.
awesome. We need to do that.
Put on the list.
Don't lose though.
Yeah.
If you're winning, you
seriously.
usually don't have time.
That's true.
You can just stay a couple extra days.
There you go.
Yeah, Corinne usually does a really good job of seeing places as well. Because you guys saw the Penguin Beach, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you see a lot of penguins? Like, did you get down
There
on the
were
beach
so
where there was a
many.
ton of
So
them?
many. I've never seen that many
They
penguins
smell
before.
horrible.
There was a lot of poop everywhere.
Everywhere.
It was so funny because I was with Jake McNeil and Alex Russell. Like, we gotta see the penguins. Gotta see the penguins. So we got there. I was like, all right, what do we do with them? What do we do now?
Yeah.
He's like, you just look at them. Just look at the penguins. After 5 minutes, it's like, You want to go swimming? Like, go
Dude,
somewhere
the
else.
water's so cold though.
It was cold.
It's crazy because we were in Durban, which is like right around the Cape. We could have drove, I think. It was like close enough. And the water was like California summer. And then when we go to Cape Town, and it's like freaking Antarctica. I almost died because I was body surfing out there, and I had a wetsuit, so I thought I was good. And I went under like 3 waves in a row, and I got the worst brain freeze in the world.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to pass out. Like, my head hurts so bad. I was trying to swim over waves, like, pretty big waves. So I'm trying to go over them. And then I had to get out of the water because it was so bad. It was that cold. And then the guys were like, you're body surfing out there? They're like, yeah, that's some of the sharkiest water. I was like, ooh. I guess wearing a black wetsuit, bobbing around like a seal is probably not a good idea.
That is
That
is
What?
frightening.
But I got a
Sharks.
sick wave, 1 wave.
Was it worth almost
and-
getting eaten by a shark?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right.
But it was so cold. It was like unbearable. You can't even enjoy the water really.
Yeah.
You probably liked it.
I'm good with it for a little bit, like 15, 20 minutes, and then things start to lock up. That was no wetsuit.
I thought
though.
you were gonna say seconds.
But I swam from Hermosa to Manhattan.
Yeah,
That
that's
was wild.
ridiculous.
What?
That was cold.
With no wetsuit.
Yeah.
In the what time of the year?
This was this was summer though, so it wasn't.
Not
It was
too bad.
reasonable. Katie Spieler though, she's a beast. She's the best in cold water of anyone I know.
Santa
she was-
Barbara.
Yeah, she just gets in the water, bikini every day. Like right now, it's freezing.
Oof.
For fun, like I'm gonna go be cold.
Yep.
It shocks you awake when
It does, yeah.
If I have to get up early to commentate at like 4, just go straight into a cold shower, and it gets you going.
For sure.
That and some dirty bean water.
Some dirty bean water.
That's true.
You guys mentioned you got a couple too many fists that you would like, which one, I think it's a good sign that you started the year in a futures reserve list and now you're upset about getting 5th in the World Tour Finals or something. I think that's commendable. But I think one of the hallmarks of a great team is the ability, anyone can win together, but it's the ability to lose together. And you guys, before last year, you'd never really lost together a whole lot, except for maybe to April and Alex in an AVP. And I'm curious what that dynamic was like on the road last year, just learning how Kristen likes to take losses, what kind of space she wants, or how you absorb it.
That's a great question.
Yeah. I think it was. I think last year really did, like, make us both realize it was like, we haven't really lost. Like, that sounds like so wild to say, but it was like,
Yeah.
what, like, we don't even know how to lose. Like, so it did. It put us in, like,
It's definitely a
uncomfortable.
learning situation, yeah.
Yeah, it was. We had to, like, figure stuff out. Obviously, it put us in, like, uncomfortable situations. But it was just, like, constant communication of, like, and I think we're even, like, still trying to figure out. I don't think we, like,
Yeah.
because there's sometimes in a loss where I'll just be, like, super angry, and then sometimes in a loss where I'll just, like, be, like, super chill. It kind of same for you.
I'm more of the more angry.
Yeah. I think I've definitely learned to realize that, yes, if we lose, it's still not, literally not the end of the world. Like, we were literally, like, treating it like it was, like, life or death after, especially at the beginning. And I think having a different realization that, no, like, we're still going to wake up, like, we're in Doha. Like, we get to go see this country that, I never thought I would be in.
Yeah.
So it was just like flipping that perspective. And obviously we still, like, hold ourselves accountable, and we know that we can be winning these tournaments, but it's just realizing that we're still going to wake up. Like, we still, like, this is my best friend. Like, I still want to do this with her. And yeah.
I think that has been kind of like, well, yeah, after a loss, we do kind of, like, not talk for a little while. And then one person, like, chills enough to be like, okay, I'm ready to talk whenever you are. And then when the other person is ready, then we have our conversation. It's just kind of, like, been our way to, like, diffuse the situation and then be able to, like, make progress from that. Because if you lose and then you're not learning anything from it, losing sucks already, and then you're not getting any benefit from it. So I feel like we do learn a ton when we lose. It just really sucks.
Yeah, I think it also helped that I feel like after a loss, we would always like talk and be like, "Oh, we didn't do this, and we talked with our coach Drew,
Who knows everything?
Yeah, and
Always.
he has for sure like helped just like simplify it to be like, "Hey, look, you just didn't do this and this, and
You lost.
that's why." And then you're like, "Wow, that actually did happen. You are right." like just like not overthinking things and just like not having to, like, you don't have to change everything about your game. Like, what we're doing is good. It's just these, like, small little things that will, as I think we gain more and more experience, those little things will happen less and less.
Yeah. What do you think were some kind of tools that you guys added throughout the year? Because making the jump from really good NCAA, which is obviously a high level. I mean, Tina was in the Olympics and also playing in college, and you guys beat her at the same time. So you were already at a high level, but there's a big jump from the NCAA to the World Tour level. I'm curious what you guys started refining in your own games to make that adjustment.
Are you talking about in volleyball in
Well,
like the mental
either.
part?
Both, yeah.
All
I mean,
of
I
it?
think the mental part's
That's a big part of volleyball.
It's a huge part. We actually just talked with our sports psych after this last tournament, and he just reached out and he was like, "How's it going?" And he obviously knew, like, saw Kristen's post of we got fifth, you know, like, and fifth overall, like, if you were thinking in the grand scheme of things, it is not last. Like, I don't know what it's not horrible, but again, I think we do just like hold ourselves accountable and like we want to be better. But with him, he was asking us so many different questions that I don't think we even like realized. Like, how do you feel best when you go into a game? How is your body language throughout the entire game? How about practices? Like, what are you saying to the other person? How can you help the other person like get out of their funk or what's going on? So all of those things have been huge. And now we're like taking it back to practice when we're here and we're competing with teams. And yeah, it's not a tournament, but it's still like kind of pressure situations, and then you learn from there and then bring it into the games.
Off of that question, I think for sure the biggest thing was the mental side.
Yeah.
And I think it was in Cape Town that it like really, I was like, whoa. We played the Mela and Toledo. And it was like going into that, I'm like, all right, one, I know they're going to pull a ton and I'm going to get served. Like, and that's probably obviously smaller pulling block, especially when they're like that good at pulling. Like if you hit the ball anywhere near Toledo, it's going to go up.
Great
It's
hands.
insane.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
And I feel like I just went into that being like, oh my gosh, I have to be so aggressive. And it was like, I was just going up and like hitting generic angle balls like at the defender. It was like, when do I ever do that? Like, that's just like, that is not what I do.
Yep.
And I think after that game, I was like, what the heck are you doing, Kristen? It was like, why are you changing your game? Like, so from now on, I was like, every single game we go into, if we're going to lose, like, it's going to be because the other team is like doing like crazy things, or it's because I didn't execute like my game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm going to go into every game and it's going to be the same. I'm not going to like change everything that I do. And it really did. Like, that may sound like super like simple, but it was just like, whoa, okay. Like, yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
So that was something that for sure in Cape Town where I was like, huh, I like that.
It's good. It's especially good when you come to those realizations yourself too. There's just there's so much more sticking power to that.
Totally.
Obviously, you know, if Leandro tells you something, or you know, if Drew tells you guys something, you're gonna absorb a lot of that. But I feel like it's the realizations that you come to on your own that's where you make the really big jumps.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you realize you're like, oh, I just came to a realization, and your coach is like, I literally been telling you that all season. You're like, yeah, but now I get it because I told myself it.
There is a huge difference, though. Like, I
Yeah.
agree completely.
Did you see teams kind of adapting to you guys throughout the year? Because a lot of times a rookie season is interesting because it's so new, and you'll kind of have a little bit of advantage because there's no film on you guys prior to that. Did you see teams starting to adjust their strategy throughout the year?
Not really, because I feel like every time if we played a team again, it would be like they would do something else. right?
Well,
No.
that's what he's asking. Like, did they change based on that?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
No, I'm saying like they didn't like lock into one thing and just like keep doing it, or like different teams depending on who. Like I didn't see like a consistent like throughout the course of the year like these teams started doing this like one thing against us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it's so different. Like, based on the team, they do either, like, serve somebody different or pin you to, like, a corner. Or, like, it is really different how every team kind of, like, takes you on.
Yeah, because I love watching the world adjust to new teams. I loved watching everyone in the world trying to experiment and throw whatever against the wall against Anders and Christian.
Yeah.
Nothing has worked for 4 years.
Right.
And now
They're
I'm really
insane.
excited to watch what teams try to do with Sweden because they are a
It's
nightmare.
wild.
I'm kind of like, I'm not even fully convinced that trying to adjust to other teams is a good idea or
Yeah.
even helpful at all. Like, would you really be better off if I spent a lot of this off season watching Sweden and trying to figure out how to beat them rather than just working on my own stuff? Like Floyd Mayweather's like, I never watched film. I don't scout my opponents. They scout me. Like, I'm the standard. You gotta beat me. And like, I'm a non-thinker, right? Like on the court, all that. And I think that's why it works to my favor a lot, is because I'm not really like, what did they just do to me? I don't know. I didn't think about it. I'm just going to go do my game again the next point.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it actually works for me. And I've never like really put pressure on myself to like God, I got to be thinking more and realizing what's going on in the last point. And because part of me thinks it's just completely a waste of time. Granted, like, yes, you have to, like, knowing tendencies, I like to like scout teams and just understand what their body looks like, what their arm swing looks like, how fast do they move, so that I have a feel for them. But like, dude, trying to figure out how to stop Sweden or to play like them, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I think the biggest
There's
thing
a fine line.
is watching teams try to do what Sweden's doing.
You just
And
can't.
you
I think you're
Yeah.
gonna see it a lot this year.
People hurt themselves more than they help.
Yeah, I love
'Cause,
it.
like,
I mean, even them sometimes they just like give away like points that you're just like, oh,
it's such a risk reward.
But
Yeah.
they've been
Look
doing
at
it. They've been doing it for like 4 years now.
Yeah.
Right. So now you're seeing like where this is just their standard game, where their passing serve receive is setting, right, for them mentally.
Yeah.
Them doing like a save our ass pokey is now like actually like this is in system and like we're very comfortable. I know where this is gonna go.
Yeah.
So now we're seeing like an evolved version of it. It's not like now they're coming out and doing new stuff. No, they're just like figuring it out after putting in serious time doing it. And everyone else is gonna be like, well, now we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
taken so much time to figure it out, and now
Well,
you're
it's
gonna...
the only game they know too.
Yeah.
When you like grow up playing this way, you're gonna be better at it than other people.
Yeah. It's
They are so freaky, though. It
They're-
is.
It's just opposite hand, shoot pokes on top of the net, perfect location.
Yeah.
It's like, great. Like, what are you supposed to do?
I would say it
don't know.
makes it very fun to watch. Like just watching it, you're
Totally.
just like, whoa. Like, so for like the audience or someone who's like doesn't know beach volleyball, I feel like they are a good pair to be like, oh wow, like that's beach volleyball. Like,
Yeah.
Totally.
And then if you know beach volleyball, you're like, did they seriously just do that? Like,
Yeah.
that is so
Yeah.
hard.
It's one thing like when they're like you're like out of system and winging it and you do a cool play, but you're like these guys are doing it on purpose now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty next level.
It's
for sure.
impressive.
They're gonna change the whole sport in like 5 years or so. You'll
Yeah.
see like the Sweden effect a little
It'll
bit.
take-
You'll see it. People are
Yeah.
trying to do it now, but like it'll have evolved the whole game. And I think FIVB, they want it to go to more like jumpy, like flick sets and indoor-y
That's-
kind of stuff anyway.
They
Yeah.
do not care if you double. They do care if you lift the ball.
Well said.
Kristen,
They
how do
really
you feel
they
about
just don't.
It is annoying though watching the Swedes sometimes because they'll like go and like set
Yeah.
the ball from like all over the place, and then it's like Taryn will come over here and set the ball like fine, and they're like whistle. I'm like
Right.
what?
Because they want it quick and flashy rather than like deep and no spin.
But I don't get that because they're like, we're trying to make it more like indoor. But it's not indoor. We are on a beach.
Yeah. Trust me. I'm right there with you. I mean,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it comes down to
yeah.
it comes down to the people who are good at it, who can set a ball with no spin, are going to be mad that they're switching it, and vice versa. Like the skilled players are like, no, we like that because that's how we separate ourselves from these other athletes. And you're just taking that away from them, giving these athletes that have less skill the ability to hang with us. And then the other athletes are happy. But the fans,
I just think it's such an inconsistent calling still.
Yeah. What was Madison's theory on it? He thinks that at this point, you should just like forget it.
Do whatever, just throw it.
You can just set the ball from a fan's perspective, because like he's looking at like football. Like if you don't he didn't throw a spiral, it's not that pass is incomplete. Or like a chest pass, like that thing is rotating sideways. Like fans don't want to see things being called because you passed it in the wrong way. But like we're so used to that being like a huge valuable skill in the sport that it's like, no, why would you take that out? But Madison did have a good point, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is I just think that there are so many other things to be concerned about than hand setting rules, especially when there wasn't really a problem before. There's a lot of problems to solve on the World and AVP Tour. I don't think hand setting's one of them.
I don't think the sport is any of them.
But it is at the top of the list.
Yeah, I'm confused of why they are trying to like change all of this. However, to the whole like spiral and not spiral thing, I feel like if a quarterback doesn't throw a spiral or something, like you make it intercepted, or it's probably not going to be caught. So if like a beach volleyball player doesn't like double it or something, however, it's still like if you double it and it goes to a good location, you're giving your like hitter a like good opportunity.
Yeah, totally.
So I don't know.
I don't know either. It's an interesting argument though.
Yeah, it's just
I'm all about the nice hand setting because
because I feel bad for the refs, honestly, because there's no standard. I talked to a couple of them. They're like, we don't really know what the standard is.
I'm going to be hucking some sets, though, this year. Back line, over the shoulder, everywhere. Jump set from the belly button.
My favorite thing for officiating, though, there is a ball mark, right? And now you can challenge, and they have to get down. Right. And the ball lands, like, middle of the court, right? Yeah. Like, you kind of know where it lands, and then the line judge comes over and, like, circle waves like way away from where the mark is, and you're like, it's not even the right one. Like, how do you do that?
Over here. Somewhere over there.
Yeah.
And then they like point so far away from where it actually went, and I was like, can I challenge the
line judge?
Can I challenge which mark they're looking at?
Oh my god.
You know, as a player, whenever a ref comes down to check a mark, I'm like, it's that one. That one, that way, 6 feet away.
That's why they like yell at you. You just walk over to look at it. Hey, get away.
Hey,
well, my question is, what happens if you just swipe it?
That I don't know.
Be like, your call was out. Your original call was out. Now there's no mark.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I know
assume that I was lying.
The refs are like supposed to protect it. I know the down ref. That's what he was supposed to happen.
He's gonna box you out.
It didn't happen. It happened in one of our games, and it was.
I also did see watching one of the games. I did see a player walking over, and the ref came like running. They were like, no.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know what actually happens if you're like, oh, I'm gonna look at you, ref, but I'm still gonna like.
I'll do like I've done a few times where you're like diving and you let it go. And you kind of see it on the line around, and you just fall on it. And just flop. That was out for sure. Just so they don't have a mark to look at, or you're like running past it and just step right in it.
Or when we played in Brazil, that one ball that we asked them to come down, and the ref was coming to check it because it was really close, and the line judge just cleared it, and I was like, what? And then she came up to us the next day. We had to replay it. She came up to us the next day. She was like, he was crying. He felt so bad that he just moved the ball mark line. I was like, I mean, it was fine for us because it worked out and we won the game. But if that would have been like game point, I would have been so angry.
Yeah.
It's tough because the up refs are paid officials, but most of the time the line judges are just volunteers.
Yeah.
And half of them don't know that this means that it's out of bounds.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, field goal is good. Like you'll see a swing dead center of the court, and like, I'm like, I don't know if they gave them the briefing of what that means.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
I think one of the reasons that your guys' year felt like 3 lifetimes, though, is because you never taxied on the runway. You guys just went from 0 to 20,000 feet
Yeah.
in a second. I'm wondering what that adjustment period was like, where you guys just went from futures reserve list, and then you won your second challenge that you played in Turkey.
When you guys were on the
Yeah.
podcast, it was like the vibe was like, yeah, let's see if we can get on the world tour this year. Like, we have no points. I think they're all gonna block us out, and then it's like you just won an event. Like, you're like, oh, we're in. Oh, we win. Oh, we're on the world tour.
I mean, it is still wild to think about.
Like, you saying it like makes me think about it more, I guess. I still don't think I've like processed everything that's happened, and I don't think I will until like we have a normal year or like a normal year.
Yeah, I think it's still wild that we did only play in 1 future and 2 challenge events, and then all the rest were Elite 16s. Like, and it really was every single time. Last year we were just like, whatever opportunity we can get, we're just gonna go and try and make the most of it. And we were very fortunate enough to do so.
It was also a perfect year with the whole challenger system with the points, where if you're a good team doing well at the lower levels, like, you're gonna fly up the list.
And the country quota getting kicked out.
Country quota saved our lives.
That was a biggie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Country quotas were brutal. Just fly all the way out there to play 1 match, lose, go home. Or win, and now you're in the qualifier.
Win, and now you're in.
Now you're in single elim
Still,
again.
winning that country quota in Sochi, points-wise, was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. So,
Best win of your career, probably.
Best win of my career, for sure. Get into the qualifier where we played Nico, we played Argentina, ends up going to the Olympics, lose to them in 3. I got 20 points.
20?
20, the big 2-0.
Oh, no.
Getting last, losing first round qualifier of what was a 4-star was the worst possible finish you could get. If you lost in the first round qualifier of a 1-star, it was better because you technically got a better place. Because 1-stars were 16-team fields.
Oh my God.
4-stars were 32.
That's
or
literally
24.
the best win of
what?
your career.
Yeah, and it ended up being backfiring horribly.
Right.
Big moral victory.
Big
Terrible
victory,
for the points.
Wait, so what if you would have lost that game? Does your point
It's
points?
nothing. You technically weren't in the tournament.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Cam and Theo were not happy that they lost, but they didn't get the
didn't
old
get
20-point dinger.
Wow.
Crazy.
I was talking with Adam. I was like, that was an expensive win.
Worth it.
Worth it for sure.
Dang. Wait, so back the 1-star points, there wasn't that big of a difference between 1-star and 4-star points?
There was, but because the fields were so much bigger, and still are, I mean, futures are just 16 and challenge is 24. But so if you get dead last in a 4-star, you got like 41st or something. But if you got dead last in a 1-star, you got maybe like 21st. And so the gap between those finishes is where if you win the first round of a 4-star qualifier, then you're okay. Mm-hmm. But that first one, it's a really important one.
Wow.
That is so insane.
Man.
It's insane to me.
Go ahead, try.
Oh. Well, I just keep hearing, like, your guys' like perspective on your whole careers is like so backwards to me, because I'm so used to like start my career at the bottom and work my way up. But you guys had college to where it's like you're just used to winning, whereas like pretty much everyone else is just used to losing, and then you try to like convince yourself that you're supposed to be winning all the time, which is like where I'm at now. I'm like, I can win tournaments, because back in the day it was like, okay, just make a main draw, whatever. And then it was like ninths were like good for like a whole season or two. It was like top 10 in the world. That's awesome. And then I had to convince myself, I was like, that's not good anymore. Like, stop getting ninths. Stop being like content with ninths and then fifths. And I've still been stuck in that like fifth range. But like you guys coming in and just like, okay, we have to somehow figure out a way to be okay not winning every single tournament. Like, I'm just trying to win. Like, another one. It's just crazy, like, to have that perspective. And I need to, I'm actually at 10 years in or whatever, trying to, like, figure out how to make sure I, like, convince myself of that. Like, I can go to tournaments and actually, like, win these things. If I don't think that, then it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah.
You guys are, like,
Well,
literally
who really thinks
rookies
he's
on
better
tour,
than
but
him?
I'm trying to figure out your mindset when I'm 10 years in.
Yeah.
Well, I like your mindset of just not thinking. I love those games where you just like walk off the court. Kristen's like, man, that was such a sick play in the first game, the fourth point. And I'm like, I have no
What?
idea what just happened in the last hour and a half.
You're
Like,
"Did I play
I
good?"
blacked out. I was like, did we win?
We won, great.
It really is not fun sometimes though, because I really am. I'm like, oh, like that was a sick block, and she's like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Like, well, it was cool.
I go back and watch it later. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is what
That
she
was
was
sick.
talking about.
Oh, pretty good.
It's so funny. I feel like almost every partnership dynamic ends up that way, where you have the super thinker and then you have the player who just like instincts take over, whatever you repped out in practice, and then after the match you're like, oh, that was fun.
Me and Trevor
won.
did not have a super thinker.
Yeah.
Both of you guys were just like, let's go
Yeah.
play.
Yeah. It was pure street ball. Wing it.
Worked out pretty well for
was fun.
not much thinking.
But it's weird because you do a lot of the thinking like before and after.
Yeah, I
Whereas
agree.
I'm like, but like in the game, I'll be definitely thinking, obviously.
Yeah. Well, it takes a certain skill set or like certain thought process to be able to switch back and forth from thinking to not thinking. So that's why I don't bother doing it. Because it's just too much. Well, actually, no. I've actually learned, because I felt like I had some, like, we have to think out here. And Trevor's actually sees the game better, but he's not feeling the need to communicate it, really. I'm like, no, dude, I need that stuff. If you got the thought, say it. So then I had to, like, train myself to think and, like, okay, think time. I give myself a few seconds. Okay, got it. Now turn brain off time and have to, like, jump back and forth between the two.
That is so interesting. I wish I could just see like bubbles of what is going on in people's heads.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be
crazy.
amazing? Like some people would be thinking about food, the next person would be thinking about like blocking, you know?
That's such a good point.
That'd be
so
amazing.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Be an interesting superpower to have.
Yeah.
You can just read minds whenever you want.
I
You
would love
need the
that,
ability
yeah.
to also turn them off.
That
Oh,
would be
yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
you do not want to see what's going on in people's heads. Especially males. In the middle of a game. What the hell is that guy thinking about?
I would like to see the difference in like what males think during
Right.
a beach volleyball game versus like what the women are thinking.
They should,
Yeah.
they could do like a, I don't know, like a comedy special on that where they like pretend like they know what's
Yeah.
going on in there. Or a movie maybe, right? They have like, what was that movie?
Well, they have
What
Mel
Women-
Gibson, What Women Think.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you guys seen that?
Yes. I think so. Is it an older movie?
Yeah.
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 It's so funny.
It is.
Yeah, there was like a few. Another one, I think, too.
Was there
There's-
like
I
a
think there's a
recent
couple
one?
of them.
Yeah, maybe
The
more
What
recent.
Women Want or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
That one's pretty it's wild. Like
Yeah.
they're both just so I don't know, like girls think so much and guys I just like don't understand how they just like have like an empty box going on. Like nothing. No thought. Just chilling.
Yeah, there's like no girls like things have to make sense, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas we're like, oh, I mean, whatever. Like things just don't make sense. Like, that's our logic behind
Yeah.
it.
And we want to like figure it out and you're like
Right.
dinner.
Yeah. It's been really funny because, I mean, Delaney is as indecisive as it gets. And now that we got the kid coming, so we have to make a lot of decisions about a lot of different things. And she'll ask me, like, what do you think about this? And I'll just make a decision. She's like, but why didn't you even think about the other option? I was like, I did. This one just seemed better. She's like, but why? I was like, I don't know.
We need him.
You're like, well, a decision needed to be made. So I picked one. But is it the right one? Like, well, you wanted a decision, so I just made one.
Yeah, because you
Yeah,
like
that's
trying to pick a
really bad.
pediatrician. And I was like, that guy. Like, why don't we just call like 3 people who have kids nearby and ask them what they think. And she's like, well, I don't want to bother people. Like,
Right.
They seem more reliable than Google. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
we're just not
That's
very
good.
complicated creatures, men.
That's good. It's nice.
Don't overthink us,
Yeah.
ladies.
That's nice.
It's probably nice to have Drew, who breaks it down so fundamentally and simple. In my experience, you guys obviously have a lot more experience than I do, but
Yeah.
And is
Like
he on the
3
world tour
words.
full time?
3 words.
He's not. We did have a guy come with us just to like have someone like warm us up and
Yeah.
everything this past tournament. But and Drew now he may come to like the Mexico or like say Canada like closer events.
What does he do on the side, or in addition to coaching you guys? LSU?
He coaches other like junior players.
Right. Coaching.
And that's
Yeah.
where does he coach out of? Mango?
Mangoes.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep, he's at Mangoes every day.
I still never
All
been,
day,
but
every day.
I think we're planning on going
Down to
to
Mango?
New Orleans for the first time.
Nice.
I missed it like 5 times.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be the good luck charm. There'll be no rain. Didn't it rain last year too?
Yeah,
no.
there was a delay because we sat at home.
Oh yeah.
I feel
was
like
so
every
great.
year
But it wasn't bad.
Hasn't been bad.
Yeah, it was
Or it's been
relatively
bad.
dry.
That
Yeah.
was
last
probably
year.
the best year then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Relatively.
Yeah. Yeah, you really never know.
Yeah, because Coconut, sometimes it'll rain and you can go swimming there before you could play beach volleyball. And last year it was never totally flooded,
Yeah.
which is nice.
They put in a new drainage system for all of that.
I feel like I
so-
hear that every year at Coconut. We redid the drainage.
I don't know, but there wasn't as much water.
Wait,
Does Mangoes
It's at
dry
Coconuts. The tournament's
Yeah.
at Coconut
Yes.
or
Yeah,
Mango?
Coconut.
Or
Because
is
it
it?
has a lot more sand.
Guava?
It's for sure way deeper.
Yep.
Next year we're
That's
playing
nice.
at Guava.
Is deep.
Mangoes is in Baton Rouge, and New Orleans has Coconut.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to Coconut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mangoes is, I think, I was talking to Kristen on the side about, but one of the deepest sands I've ever played in.
For sure.
Yeah. And it is a beautiful facility. I haven't been there in a long time, but Louisiana's stacked. You guys
Yeah.
have so many places to play.
We're doing it. We're doing it right.
And the LSU stadium, it
Oh,
really
yeah.
is just
Sweet.
kind of the best
Yeah.
stadium that you can possibly play in. It's
Yeah,
really nice.
I agree. The setup was ideal.
I feel like you guys are, every time you come out here, you extend your stay a little bit. Last year was like a month, and then I ran
This
into you
year
guys
is
on
2
Friday, and I was
months.
like, hold on, I didn't know you were here. You're like, yeah, we're here till March. They're like, this might
is-
become a little bit more permanent.
But it is funny how every single person who like sees us for the first time or something, so
You
they're like,
moved out here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like no, we have not. Still in Louisiana, but yeah, it's nice.
It's getting sticky.
Yeah.
The goose.
The goo.
Sticking.
Yeah, you come here
I've
often
been-
enough, the goo is
I've
just
been
gonna
here for
get you.
since 2007.
Yeah.
Just I'm not from here. I'm from Hawaii. Oh, you live in yeah, I live there, but I'm not from here. God damn it! I've been here like half my life.
I will say we did
It's
come.
getting me.
We came here earlier this year because we were like, oh, like, all right, it'll be nice to like get into a routine. Like the weather will be nice because who knows, like New Orleans or Baton Rouge, it's sometimes like way too cold, especially like wintertime. And we come here and it rained like every day for a
Yeah.
week.
And
Yeah,
everyone's
that's
like,
true.
wow, this hasn't happened for 50 years or something crazy. And they're like, oh, perfect. The 1 month that we're here to train,
Yeah.
Drew's here,
Right.
like we were getting ready to get ready for our tournaments. Rained every day.
Is that when the waves were huge?
Yes.
So it was like first week of January
Yeah.
ish.
Yeah.
Yep. I had never seen that big waves. That was
They were huge.
That was wild.
Yeah. They were scraping the bottom of the pier.
Yeah, it was
Awesome.
closed. The
Yeah.
pier was closed. It was so insane.
Yeah,
But-
fun week to live here. Sorry about your visit.
Yeah, really. Like Drew was like, man, I was like so excited. I had everything like lined up, like just like a consistent practice schedule. And then
Yeah.
it was like we didn't know if we were gonna practice this day or what time. Like it was wild.
Yeah. I feel like that's one thing that you guys seem to kind of have dialed is when to come here, when getting reps back home with Drew is good. Is your have you kind of figured out a better travel schedule this year? Because last year, like you said, we're just taking any chance we can. We're going to play. But now that you guys are in Elite 16 main draws, you can be a little bit more selective.
Not yet.
Not yet. No?
Almost.
We are
Still
on
in
the
quali.
reserve, or on the, I think it's like 1 or 2 on the qualification.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, hopefully we are not booking flights for a random tournament in a different country 2 days before we have to go, like
Yeah.
we did a couple other times.
Yeah, we've definitely, that's probably for sure part of the learning process. We'd for sure learned, like, oh, this day getting here works best for us. Like, and even, like, this year we started, like, before when we were, like, go on the road, we, like, never went into the gym before the games. But, like, this past tournament, we, like, got into the gym kind of to keep that, like, routine going a little bit, even when we're on the road. So it is kind of crazy, like, we really did, like we say all the time, like, we learned so much, but it is, like, we are starting to, like, implement some of these things and,
Yeah.
like, still even learning probably this year. I'm sure we'll learn a ton.
I
Yeah,
think-
we were trying to figure out our schedule, and I was like, man, should we play in this one or this one? And I was like, Kristen, these are the best problems ever. Like
Yeah.
last year, we just
Right.
wanted to get into one tournament.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Does it feel a lot different to you guys now that Olympic qualifying has started?
I don't
Or
know
is
if
it
that's hit
kinda-
me either.
I think the first one we were like, we have to
There's
do
a little something.
Yeah,
There's a little
like-
something
Oh,
there.
for sure, yeah.
Yeah, it is also just such a weird thing of like obviously like the other U.S. teams.
Yeah.
you're like really like watching it, like what are they doing? What is?
Yeah.
But I feel like we've like had that conversation. I feel like because in Doha we kind of did feel that, but now it's just like no, like we're just gonna do our thing. Like
Yeah.
whatever everyone else is doing, that's fine. Like that's their thing. But we're just gonna trust our game, trust that whatever events we do end up playing in, we're gonna be successful and do well in. So but yeah, there definitely was.
It's something there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked about it.
It's only something that you like we've been talking about, or like that's our top goal, and like
Right.
oh the process is starting. So for us to be like oh yeah it doesn't matter, like
Yeah.
it matters.
We just keep
for
telling
sure.
ourselves that the whole time. No, I don't care how they do. Just check how they do.
But it is,
They won? Oh no, it's fine. It's all good. I don't care.
I still wish there was like a event or something where it was like a college style thing or something
It'd be
where
so
it was
cool.
like USA versus Brazil, and it
Yeah.
was like you got to like cheer for your other US
Yeah.
teams, and it was just like it brought everyone together.
Yeah.
Like I think that would be
Like have you ever cheered
So
for a
cool.
U.S. men's team to do well?
Not really.
See?
Tokyo
Yeah.
kind of switched it up for you though.
Yeah, I was cheering for Nick and Phil, like pretty heavily, because I mean, it was just a
Yeah.
unique situation. Plus, everyone was already there, and it wasn't like making me worse. It's like Olympics is set, like we might as well have a team win
Yeah.
kind of thing. Plus, it was unique circumstances.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've been saying that for years.
And you loved
That'd
that
be so
exhibition, the USA Brazil exhibition, because they did do one a while ago. I don't know if you guys have
Yeah,
heard about
it was
that.
sick. It was in Brazil, U.S. versus Brazil. Basically, like an American team's gonna make the finals. We all like lined up, stadium, like they did all these intros, and then every match was a Brazil versus U.S. And then I forget how the format was, but it was so fun. And then, me and Heidi made the final actually, but it was
Yeah.
funny because we were playing terrible. Like all the U.S. teams were losing because we were in the off season, and they were in mid
Oh yeah, they are
season
mid-season,
for them,
Yeah.
and so we were just all getting smashed. But me and Hayden played a little better than everyone else, so we ended up making the finals by losing our way there. And but even in that scenario, the best U.S. team was going to make more money. So like, there's really never been situations where we're incentivized to cheer for each other. Even in the Olympics, it was like, I just want to cheer for these guys because they're my friends and they're the U.S. I'd love for the U.S. to get something out of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's never, not getting much traction on it.
Dang.
We'll see.
Yeah, maybe after the Olympics.
Yeah.
Because now,
For
obviously,
sure,
that's the
yeah.
attention.
For sure not a good
Probably
time
after
for
I
that.
retire
Yeah.
at some point. That's when they're going to do it. Oh, well.
Yeah. Like you said, good problems to have now that you can be more selective. I think it's going to be funny when you look back probably 3 or 4 years from now and you look at your rookie and sophomore seasons, you're like, what were we doing?
We're
Yeah.
probably gonna make some mistakes for sure, or like things that we wish we could change. 100%.
It's
There's
cool that you
already
guys-
like tournaments that we're like, oh man, we should have played. Didn't. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's cool that you guys have such a good relationship. Is the friendship, business partner, volleyball partner dynamic ever difficult? Because you spend so much time together. You're on the road Do you guys live together in Louisiana? Mm-hmm. Yes, you're roommates.
Jeez.
On the road or at home. So
That's a lot.
That's
we
an
are
incredible
not
balancing
friends
act.
anymore. We are sisters. We have just like that's kind of the way it is. I don't know, like this is gonna sound weird, but it's like the longest relationship that's like not just like a normal friendship, but not like a family member, but
right.
that I've ever had. Like that's really embarrassing, but like the longest one. And I was just like, I don't know, like looking at our relationship, and I was like, I want to have like Kristen as a friend, Kristen as a business partner, Kristen as a partner, you know, and it's just like all those three things are different. So like this last week we like went out and like had a non-volleyball dinner. And so like putting those into our schedule of like, we can't talk about volleyball. Like as soon as one of us brought it up, it was like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
Like we're not answering it. We're not talking about it. So I think that is super helpful. I think like sometimes having breaks, like last year we spent like a week apart and we were like, this is the longest we've ever gone in 3 years. Yeah. And then she's texting me every 3 seconds. And she's like, Taryn, I was just thinking.
I think though the sister word I think like really does like explain it, because there's for sure like you like bicker with your sister. Like there are times where you're just like, oh my gosh, you're making me angry.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
And
that
you
is
know
for
how to
sure-
like push each other's buttons.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that is for sure. I think that like that sister word really I think has turned. Whereas like earlier I would say it was more like a friendship. Where now it really is like a sister relationship where it's like, yeah, we do bicker. Like there are times where I'm like, mostly where she's like, I need to get away from you. But I mean, yeah, still. I mean, super fun, and it's cool that we just get to travel around the world and see all these things.
What does like off time look like, especially when you guys are out here in Cali? You said you're here for 2 months this time? Mm-hmm. Wow. So like, what's
We
the
did like a month
weekends
training.
look like? Free time.
I am a big foodie, so I love exploring new restaurants.
LA, you can do that forever. There's so many.
Yeah. I get like probably 30 new restaurants from Kristen. I send her restaurants.
Yeah, my Instagram explore page, food, just food. Like that's all
Nice.
it is. And I mean, we're pretty strict during the week with like nutrition and everything.
Right.
So like get a nice little like 1 or 2 cheat meals on the
Friday
weekend.
night, yeah.
So that is something I love to do.
I love going for walks,
I think
finding
she's
new
hit
coffee
every
shops,
single coffee shop.
and reading. And just like, I love people watching. It's so much fun. So I just like go in the Strand and people watch. Or it's honestly, I wouldn't say it's anything fun. Like there's nothing like
Sounds pretty fun.
outrageous that we do. So yeah, I mean it's just nice.
Late night clubbing down in LA underground scene.
Can't say I've been, heard great things.
TKN after dark.
That'd be a fun one. Fun little segment. No, I think college senior year really got it all out of me.
Right.
It's good
We
to
did
have one of those
something
years.
every single weekend. Like we drove to Austin to watch it was the year that we had Joe Burrow.
Oh,
so
that's
like
right.
our football team was so
Yeah.
good.
LSU's
Yeah.
campus was just rocking.
Oh,
It
for
was
sure.
so fun. Oh my god.
Yeah, looking back though, I'm like, how did we like survive? And that was also the year, that was COVID year, but that was the year that like LSU we were going to win the national championship. Like for sure, like there is not a part of me that it doubts that was going to happen. And we were still, it was like, how are we going to go? We were like having a good time and we were going to go win. Like it was just like weird thinking back on that, being like, how did we even do that?
I don't know how I would. Yeah. You would just like hop in the car right after practice, drive somewhere.
Yeah.
There was like whatever event was like within 6 to 8 hours, we were gonna go drive and go do it. Or like sometimes we even flew to other places, right?
Yeah.
It's weird, wild, fun.
Love it. You have one car between you two?
No, we both have a car.
Oh, okay.
Here?
Yeah, here.
Oh,
just one.
No, yeah, just one.
It'd be weird at home if you had one. I guess not weird, but like, I expected you to both have cars back home.
Yeah.
Here you got one car.
It would have been
Gotcha.
funny though.
Just one. Yeah.
What's the favorite restaurant at the moment that you found here in LA?
Oh. That's a tough one.
Have you been to Koreatown? Like explored that? You like Korean food?
I can't say I know
What do
if
you-
I do.
Korean barbecue.
Korean food's
Well, there's
so good.
Koreatown. Like LA has every town, right? Like most big cities, and that's my go-to Korean barbecue where you like they give you the raw meat and you cook it in front of yourself, kind of experiential.
Is it so weird to you though that you are paying
To
to
cook your own
yourself?
food. I've thought about it.
Okay.
But I really
and then
like
you just
it.
don't think about it?
Well, it's like you're not going to get it any fresher off
Yeah.
the grill.
Yeah.
And you're like talking and eating, like you have all your sides and your rice in front of you. So you're eating, talking, and you're really just like putting your meat on the grill before you grab it off your plate kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. No, I think
Since you're
I'm all
foodie.
about like the experience of like you can pay a little bit more to like have a good experience instead of it
Right.
just being like I'm gonna eat and then leave.
Right. Exactly. It's my wreck. I don't have any great restaurants, but just general Korean barbecue. Torrance actually has
and,
some
I
good
don't think
ones.
I've ever tried Korean.
Just
barbecue.
Pokey.
Oh,
Have you guys been to Just Pokey?
No, but
Everybody says that.
Yeah.
it's.
a-
I mean, yeah.
And even as a Hawaiian, because you guys would have the highest Pokey standards.
It's one of the more like actual Hawaiian style poke spots. Like the cucumbers it's unique to them, I think. And if they have too much of the juice that's leaking into my rice, kind of gets on my nerves a little. And then the seaweed salad. No, it's good though. Yeah, if you want like the traditional poke experience, go
I've
to
never
Just
had
Poke.
one.
have to try it.
I know.
It's right down the road. Don't go to one where there's like if like corn and like edamame and stuff like that is a side option. It's not. It's not a real.
Is there
poke.
like one
you can
thing
eat it.
like-
It's fine. It's just that's not poke to me.
Is there like a specific bowl you recommend from?
I'd go like
There?
just traditional or like shoyu, which means
Yeah.
soy sauce.
Shoyu is my favorite that they have.
Wasabi if you
Yeah.
want a little, but I think theirs is
I
a
can't
little
do
like
wasabi.
a little spicy. It's good.
I feel like I have to try it. Oh wait,
Their spicy
Tim
one is
Brewster
spicy.
showed us a really good sushi spot.
Okay.
That might be at the top of my list
Okay.
thus far.
There's some good ones around here, just in this town alone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we went up to Manhattan. What was it
Dash
called?
Dashi or
Like
Izakaya.
caps.
Izakaya.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Izakaya's killer.
It
Yeah, that
was
was
so
delicious.
good.
Happy hour too. It's super cheap.
Really.
Mhm.
And it was Tim Brewster.
Yeah.
And like,
Just one of the greatest people of all time.
It really is.
He's kind of a foodie too. He can be pretty picky with what he eats. So, any Tim Brewster Rex,
yeah, always good.
he's pretty high end with his tacos. He gets tacos every Tuesday. I'm like, Tim, those
High-end
tacos are like
taco guy.
$9 a pop. Like, if I pay more than $2 for a taco, that's expensive for
Yeah.
me.
Wow.
Like a little
Better
baby
be-
taco?
Better be big
Yeah.
tacos.
Yeah, and he eats like 6 of them. That's a $36 meal of tacos, Tim.
Only on Tuesdays.
Only on Tuesdays.
Man.
Love it. Well, now you got some
Yeah.
new options.
All right.
Dashi, by the way. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a new one in Manhattan.
This
Right
is
next
not
to-
good. There's so
right
many
next
places.
to Taco-licious. So you guys can go with Tim. Maybe
I'll get tacos.
There's 2 outdoor patios there, so you can sit right on the other side of the planters.
Oh.
You can eat tacos. You can have some. The
Perfect.
sushi is really good, and it's 1 block down from Izakaya.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well, great.
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, where can everyone find your food chronicles, find your adventures?
Oh, Instagram. My Instagram. I definitely.
Just Kristen Nuss?
I think it's Kristen_Nuss.
Okay.
Actually, someone from New York sent us bagels.
Yeah.
They were
Someone
like,
from New York
I
sent
know you
bagels.
love like food chronicles and everything. She was like,
I
New York
love that.
Yeah, she was like, New York has
They
the best
were
bagels.
so good.
Send some bagels. I was like, well, this is amazing. Food Chronicles is really taking off now.
I love
I
it.
heard there's a like a Uber Eats, but for the whole country. Like if you want Philly cheesesteak, you order it, and they will send it from Philly, like
Wow.
the authentic spot, and get it to you, like flash frozen or something. So you heat it up, but it was like frozen right off.
Just saying your bun's just
Something like that.
soaked.
Yeah.
No, like they do it right, apparently, but you have to pay like 20 times the regular price.
Yeah.
I bet.
Well, we just got a king cake from Louisiana. I was like, wow, we're just getting so many food things sent to us.
I love when food arrives at my door.
She did check the door like multiple times, and she's like, "I just want to make sure the bagels just get here."
Yeah. Oh well.
But you're putting together the next vlog.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think you guys do a great job with the vlogs, by the way.
Yeah, I'm currently editing.
I enjoy them.
Editing the Doha Finals.
Oh, there we
vlog.
go.
It's
Awesome.
fun.
Yeah, where can they
YouTube?
find your vlog then?
Oh, our YouTube channel. I think it's TK and V-Ball.
Okay, because I think
YouTube channel.
I think they're really well done. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's
And you
mainly
edit
for
it?
our families.
Self-edited?
Some of them, but yeah, this one.
She just
sits.
sits there
Okay.
and giggles because she like makes fun of me, and it's like a horrible video of me or something, and she rewatches it, and I can hear it. Rewatches it, laughs. Rewatches it, laughs. Cuts a little bit, rewatches it, and laughs. I'm like, I know what you're watching. She's like, it never gets unfunny.
Edit the next one.
And you guys also have a newsletter, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, we do. We have a website. It's tkandvball.com. And if
Okay.
you scroll down to the bottom, you can subscribe.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
that's where they can find you guys on all your channels, which I think you do a
Yes.
great job of.
Yeah,
with
we also
a
have
little
some
bit of
gear
everything.
that you can find on the website too.
Yeah, and that's available all the time. We had questions about that, so that's nice.
TK and V-Ball.
Rep some TKN merch.
Sweet. Anything else, you guys?
No. Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for coming back on. We'll just
It's been a
keep this as our
crazy year.
annual meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what's new in the studio next time.
Yeah, we're gonna we'll have our sign back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We
Good,
shall.
because otherwise we won't come back
Yeah, maybe
until that thing.
next time Friday wine night.
I like it.
Friday. There we go. And maybe some food, some
Yeah.
apps.
Yeah.
Oh,
It'll
my
sound real
goodness, we
nice
can
for just the
try.
audio listeners.
Wait,
Yeah.
I was thinking that
Nice
each
crunch.
one of us could have, you could bring your favorite food, and then we could have a little taste and wine.
Maybe we eat
That's
before. Because then
You don't want to like chew in here?
How's that sound?
I actually hate it.
Just do it off camera.
Oh, this is so good. Oh my god. We could
Taryn would
maybe
love that.
we eat the food and we talk about it
Oh.
on
With
the
our
show
wine.
while we
Like
drink
a
wine.
food chronicle
Yes.
podcast.
Boom.
Okay,
All right.
Done.
done deal.
I'm in.
Good brainstorming
I bet
session,
you.
everyone.
I bet you. Kristen's drinking dirty bean water by next year. This time, Waiakea to be more. One more sniff. I mean,
We'll see.
these have notes of sweet almond, baker's chocolate, and walnuts. And you can really smell it in
I
there.
do get that smell.
They're really
do you
sell
think some people can smell more than other people?
Oh, for sure. I can't smell hardly anything.
Do you think that
Do you think-
changes how you taste? Like some
Yes.
people
Yeah.
can taste like more.
Yeah.
Well,
for
even
sure.
your
I'm
colors.
convinced that we're convinced that she can taste things more because she just like sits there, eats something, talks about it for 3 hours. And I'm like, yeah, it was really good. But
Yeah.
that's all I got.
She can't,
Me and
she
you
can't smell
are such
anything.
similar people. You're like, well, for fun, I'm gonna take walks and read like my soul.
Oh my gosh.
Just connect.
Like a crossword
Yeah.
puzzle?
And you-
Yes.
and you also can't taste stuff as well as your significant other. That's how
Yeah.
Delaney is. She'll have a couple bites and she'll be able to name every ingredient in it. I'm like, it tasted like a burger to me.
Like, yeah, like it was good.
Yeah.
But now I'm moving on. Like
Yeah.
it's just,
I'm with you, Kristen.
Yeah, thank you.
but you
I
can
really
smell really well.
appreciate
obviously.
quiet walks and reading. It's just hard for me to do. I have to force it. I get the value of it. Eating, I'm very good at.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
But yeah, thanks
All
for
right,
having
ladies.
us.
Thanks for coming
Thank
on.
you.
Always a blast hanging out.
Shoots. See how we sync that up?
That was adorable.
Wait, did you
Thank
say
you.
shoots?
Shoots.
That's
That was-
chemistry if I've ever seen it.
That was adorable.
Shoots means like
Like the end.
It's like a
okay then.
Oh.
Right? Alrighty then.
Okay.
Yep. Shoots, we're out.